Hello.
Just a couple talk a little bit about last weekend. How nice it was to get two wins on the road. How the team played.
Well, I mean, we played extremely well on Saturday. I thought we played well on Friday too, but Saturday we were much better. Even maybe go back to the Penn State weekend, very similar type road series for us. Although we come out with 6 points as opposed to five, and the positive thing for me was is that it was up against maybe one of the hotter teams in the country at the time. So I think we played good road hockey, and we need to bring that home. That's the biggest thing. That my biggest message is we need to bring that same level of play into our building, because I felt really good after the Penn State weekend, and then we got beat twice by Minnesota. So we got to just find a way to make sure that we bring that same desperate hockey here to our building.
And you mentioned the word desperate. I mean, this league is crazy right now. There's all sorts of scenarios that could happen, after this weekend and things. How do you approach this weekend against Michigan State, which is struggling right now coming into this year?
I don't know if they're struggling per se. I mean, as far as wins go, yes, but they're still playing well. Just watching them on video, I mean, they're a team that executes extremely well. You can tell exactly what they're trying to do, and they do it pretty well. And they just both nights I think that they just ran into two teams, basically Michigan and Ohio State, that are playing at the top of their game defensively, and they really minimized Michigan State's offense. When you can shut down their top line in power play, then you have a chance to win. But they're still playing well, so I don't want to look at them like just because they lost 4 games in a row. It's no different, from us coming off the Minnesota weekend. Michigan might have thought maybe we're struggling too. So it's this league is from night to night. Michigan State's a much better team than they were last year, and we only came out with a couple points against them the first time we played them. And we need to worry about how we're playing, probably more so than worrying about the points right now. We just have to continue to play at the level in which we played on the weekend, as far as just our intensity, our physicality, our smarts. The way we played was impressive, and if we can continue that, then hopefully we can go on a bit of a run.
You ever seen anything like this league, as crazy as it is, with the way it's, literally period to period almost?
Well, it wasn't much different a year ago at this time. I think we beat each other up all 7 teams, I mean, on a weekly basis, and it doesn't help us nationally because, we all end up beating on each other. And Michigan or Penn State and Ohio State have done a really good job non-conference, and they also they have a few more wins than some of the other teams in the league. But from night to night, you're right. There's not a lot of separation between the teams. They all play differently, but they all have enough ability and coaching that they all play extremely well, and it's hard to beat teams in this league.
And of course, this weekend is a big weekend, the senior weekend and stuff like that. And then you got five guys who played a big role in the success that you've had. Give me just a quick impression of each one of the players as I give it. What's Cal Burke meant to this program?
Well, I mean, it's a really strong class as far as the talent is one thing, but the character and the type of people that we're talking about is another. They're just quality young men, and they've all done a great job for our program over the last 4 years. I'm hoping that they have more home games yet to come. So it's a senior weekend by name only, and hopefully they continue to play here in our building for the next few weeks. So, but I mean, I can go through each guy. I mean, obviously our goaltender, Cale Morris, has been a pleasure over the last 4 years, and last 3 years he's been a dominant goaltender in college hockey. He has the ability to change a game on his own. But I mean, for me, it's more about the person. Cale's like my own son in some ways, because I spend so much time with him with the goalie stuff and that. And you know, he's just such a great kid, and, you know, I just appreciate his, you know, who he is as a person. And I could say that pretty much about all of them. You know, if I go, you know, on defense, Torrey Dello, you know, just another quality young man. You know, I think, you know, Torrey is a real sensitive kid, but he's, you know, he's a kid that's mature, and, you know, he knows what he has to do to be successful. He's fought his way through the, you know, he's not the, you know, the elite student, but he really works hard at school. So he is successful. And he almost approaches hockey in the same way. You know, he's played extremely well here down the stretch, which is really important to our team. He's got to be the leader back there as the only senior defenseman, and he's lived up to that. You know, he's again a kid that, you know, that I've had personal relationship with over the years, and, you know, just know what he's gone through personally, and help him through that, and just be there for him at some parts of his life away from the rink. You know, up front, I mean, you know, Michael Leary is a guy that's really come along over the last 4 years. I mean, him and I butted heads a few times over his first few years here. I'm not sure he was, you know, he fully believed that, you know, that we were utilizing him the way he felt he should be used, and, you know, that caused him to, you know, to kind of fight the process a little bit early on. But he's a good person, and he's a good kid, and, like, he found his way, and I was just glad to watch. You know, last year he took advantage of the opportunity he got in the second half when we had some injuries, and from that point on, you know, everything's been positive. He's been a positive influence in the locker room. You know, he's had a positive influence on the ice, and, you know, he's just a real sincere guy, and, you know, he's become a real good team guy, a guy that, you know, has helped some of the younger guys along the way, and just real serious in, you know, how he approaches people. And I think that has established our relationship in a much stronger way over the last couple of years too. You know, Cam Morrison, a guy that's matured over time here. You know, he came in, he was a young guy. He's still young as a senior, but a caring kid that, you know, comes from a great family. You know, he's very humble, and yet, you know, he has so much ability, and that ability has really started to shine this year in the last month especially. But he always seems to elevate this time of the year, which tells you something about who he is. When the game's on the line, he steps his game up, and he's been like that for us every year at the end of the year, and he's starting to show that again right now, where he just elevates his game, and it tells you a lot about who he is as a person. That when the game, you know, not a lot of people can do that. When the games get more important, he finds a way to elevate his game, and that, to me, that tells you a lot about who he is as a person and his character. And Cal Burke, our captain, you know, I knew he was going to be captain last year. As soon as Andrew Peak signed, I knew that, you know, I was looking at Cal being a captain regardless, as far as with Andrew, but a mature young man that's, you know, just, he's got his priorities straight. He's got his, again, I mean, all these kids come from, you know, good families, and, you know, I think that Cal has just got his priorities in the right place. He knows what's important in life. He takes care of his business off the ice, in schools, the service, you know, the fact that he's a finalist for the humanitarian award says an awful lot about who he is. You know, when you have guys like that, and you've had 4 years with them, and especially with a guy like Cal or Cale, guys, when you're spending more time with guys that are captains, and guys that you work with on a daily basis above and beyond just on the ice, you learn a lot about them. And, you know, Cal's a kid that, you know, another guy that, just like any of them really, that I'd be proud to call my son, just because they're that quality of people. And he's lived up to that role as being one of our great captains. And, you know, I think he's done a real admirable job in the leadership role, but he also is a leader on the other side of campus too, which tells you that this young guy's going places, you know, in hockey and life after hockey. He's gonna have an impact on society just because of the type of person he is.